tell me when. So, testing, standard commentary voice, standard. Chance commentary voice, big chance voice. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, comms check. Seashells by the seashore. Comms check. dull Friday evening here under the lights at Guinness Steel Stadium at BT O'Connor Reserve in Melbourne's North as we prepare to bring you live pictures of this round 12 NPL Women's Victoria clash between the hosts, the Preston Lions, cupping up against the Boroondara Eagles. We are past the halfway point of this 2024 campaign. The reverse fixtures are now in effect. This contest tonight, a rematch of a round one meeting between these two sides that saw Preston head to the Veneto Club and take out a 3-2 victory over Boroondara. Of course, a lot has changed since then. Preston, well, they did go on an absolute stormy run of form, racing out to the top of the league, but three defeats in their past three games has seen them stumble somewhat. And now Coach Dan Foden's side will be looking to get back into the winner's circle and keep pace, if nothing else, with FC Bulleen Lions in the race for the Premier's place here in the Victorian women's top flight. The Boroondara Eagles, well, they come into this game on a 4-game unbeaten run. 2 draws, giving way to 2 wins in their last 2 games against the Bentley Greens and Brunswick Juventus. They've scored 7 goals across the past fortnight against just 3 goals conceded. Correa Aquino is back. She of 31 goals in the 2023 campaign. Mid-season addition after spending time with Melbourne Victory during the last A-League women's season. She got her name into the scorebooks for the first time this season last week against the Bentley Greens, and now she will be looking to propel her side to a win over, well, Boroondara's longest-standing rivals in the Victorian women's top flight. These two sides, promoted from the VPLW in 2022, have staged many a battle over the years. Preston holding onto the edge. They've played 8 times. Preston have won 6. Boroondara just 2 wins with no draws. And now, as the host Preston get us kicked off, they will be looking to extend that dominance here under the friendly lights at Guinness Steel Stadium. For the hosts, they'll be starting with Charlotte Rehorison in goals in front of her. Elta Levski, Miri Nishimura, Molly May Ramsey, Mabey Tanaka, Emma Checker, Ellie Lamont, Hayley Johnson, Eva Harrington, Susan von Songkam and Georgia Henderson. And they're going to get forward early, Preston, and force a strong save from Boroondara's new keeper, Melissa Kessa, midweek edition. Young teenager coming across from Calder United in the wake of Mia Mossman's leg injury. Boroondara have been forced to play outfielders in goal for the past, well, 1.5 games. Mossman coming off injured just before the halftime break in their win over Brunswick Juve. As Boroondara getting an early opportunity. Aquino, her first sight on goal, saved by her Horrison. Yes, in that game again. Who starts the Sousa, who's on the bench for Boroondara this evening. Well, she got a start in goal in a 3-2 win over the Bentley Greens. But now an actual specialist keeper in goal for Boroondara in the form of Saketa. In front of her, Mary Petrakis, Annalia Kopoulos, Cassie Carman, Rosie Curtis, Nijasevsky, Manisha Lim, Gabby Holler, Cicely Paraskevis, Korea Aquino and Angeliki Honduras. That's Preston bursting forward once again. Lamont. She's got Ramsey in the middle, waiting for a delivery. Can't get it in there before she goes down, but the collision is adjudged to have been an infringement on Boroondara, and they will have the free kick. Angelique Katsalis, our referee in the middle tonight. As Boroondara now looking to burst down the left flank. And it's not going to be a very successful journey down there as Paraskevis can't keep it in. Preston looking to bounce back, as mentioned, after successive defeats against Bulleen, Essendon and then Heidelberg. Heidelberg roaring back from a 2-1 deficit late on last Sunday to take out the win. Catherine Vlahopoulos and Keely Lockhart with the late goals. Tanaka and Johnson on the score sheet for Preston that day, who take a 2-1 lead after Aska Miata put Heidelberg ahead in the first half. For Horrison with a couple of errors that led to Heidelberg goals in that contest, so she will be looking to bounce back. Have to be wary now as Boroondara have the ball deep on their attacking right flank. Treakus, the ball in her hands, the skipper for Boroondara. And she can have another go after the defensive header. Preston getting numbers back to defend as this one. Lamont was the only player forward for the hosts, and in the end, the massive bodies they were able to assemble forces the errant throw-in, and Horrison can have a goal kick. She's got Checker short, which is where it goes, Emma Checker. Harrington coming under pressure and coughing it up though for Preston, and now Boroondara trying to come forward. Trying being the optimal word, as somewhat professional foul, not enough to earn a caution, but enough to cease any thoughts of a quick burst forward. An international has the opportunity to whip something in for Boroondara. Numbers forward for the visitors. Ball sent in towards the near post. Big collision. Aquino falls to Rosie Curtis. And Rosie Curtis can only find the side netting. So the two mid-season additions from Melbourne Victory for Boroondara, Rosie Curtis and Korea Aquino. Sights on goal early for those two. Now another turnover from Preston as they attempt to build out. Holler eventually came up with the ball, kept the play moving forward. Paraskevas couldn't bustle her way into the penalty area. Nishimura for Preston, can't figure on the ball. Forward to Henderson, who just knocks it forward in the Lamont direction. Boroondara come up with it in the middle of the park. Josefsky out on the right. Second leading scorer on the season for Boroondara with 6 goals to her name. That equals her tally from last season with Box Hill. It's only one behind her best ever senior haul of 7 with Box Hill in 2022. Rosie Curtis. Treakus. High looping ball forward. Headed away by Preston, and then that's clever use of the body by Fonsongkham. Susan Fonsongkham carrying the ball forward, stood up in the end by Honduras. Just cutting out the momentum and forcing the Perth Glory attacker to send it out to the right. Interesting looking ball in behind there. Hayley Johnson was lurking. Got her 9th goal of the season against Heidelberg last week, Johnson, the leading goal scorer on the park for either side. My apologies, second leading goal scorer. Gabby Holler has 11 on the season. 2 of the competition's leading scorers. And that's without mentioning Korea Aquino, as Boroondara coming forward once more. Had Holler in the middle, looking to make it 12 on the campaign, but the ball couldn't find her. Songkham, central to Nishimura. Again, good vision. Sending the ball out to the right, and then Lamont did get to the ball first, but in doing so, heavy touch, taking it out for a goal kick. Goal kick that will be taken short. There's space for Boroondara to try to exploit down on the left. Unable to do so as they're closed down. Tanaka kept play moving and then went for the overlapping run. Couldn't get to the ball before it's cleared away by Honduras. Cam whips the ball in the Johnson direction, gets a head on it. And Saketa claims it, but it wouldn't have counted even if she hadn't. The offside flag had gone up, but for a young keeper making her first appearance for a new side, any touch of the ball that is clean will boost the confidence. And she has been called into action a few times already, has Saketa, albeit nothing that probably gave her too many heart palpitations. Again, appeals for offside on Preston. Flag didn't go up. Johnson sending it back to Olimo Ramsey. Then the ball played in behind. Johnson giving chase. Josefsky was keeping her company. And then the ball just will scoot through central, but no Preston player there to meet it, only Patrikas. Curtis knocks it down for Josefsky. Attempted give and go with Okino. And the strength of Josefsky to just see off the challenge from Songkham keeps play alive for at least a little while until that wayward pass will fall to Emma Checker, playing centre-back for Preston tonight. Did moonlight at both left and right back against Heidelberg the previous week. Lamont working against Leokopoulos. Johnson. Well played in central, over the top of Von Songkham. Tanaka giving chase, but unable to keep it in before it rolls out for a goal kick. And Saketa again uses the opportunity to just a bit of practice, falling down for the claim. Ahead of the goal kick. Shimura stared down limb before keeping play moving. Honduras getting in the road for Boroondara. Cassie Carmen, her pass is wayward, picked out by Von Songkham. That's in behind. Lamont is through. Ellie Lamont. Preston have their lead. Lamont, her 7th of the campaign. She was through. Boroondara lost track of her. And in their quest to arrest a 3-game losing run, Preston, these Lionesses, get themselves off to the perfect start. Cool under pressure, the Preston attacker. Seeing the young keeper, placing it beyond Saketa. And early on in this opening stanza, the score now reads Preston 1, Boroondara 0. in the 13th minute on the scoreboard here at Genesteel Stadium at BT Connell Reserve. Now, can Boroondara respond quickly? Gabby Holler just sending it across in the Aquino direction. And she's going to battle and win it back from Nishimura. Korea Aquino. She's beaten a few. Laying the ball off. Boroondara eventually sees the move peter out. Aquino there showing the flashes that induced Jeff Hopkins to sign her for Melbourne Victory. Teammate at Melbourne Victory last season, Emma Checker, getting us going once again from the goal kick. Former Matilda's defender, of course, announcing her retirement from the professional game at the end of the 23-24 campaign. From Songcam, battling and kept that in. But Boroondara had the numbers. Carmen gets us going again, throwing it towards Aquino. A flick on, maybe inadvertently, collecting Eva Harrington as she did so. Completely accidental, no whistle. Does Boroondara get another throw? Bit of space now for Boroondara out here on the right flank. Patrikas on the halfway line, launches it forward. Not clear initially, but only as far as Josefsky. And space potentially was opening up for her on that left foot. If not, for Nishimura getting across and booting it clear. Already seen on a few occasions this evening, in the opening 15 or so minutes, Nishimura, her poise and instincts, knowing where to be, have been important for this Preston side. Patrikas to Aquino. Josefsky was the intended recipient. Throw-in was sent to the Johnson and Josefsky direction. Beat both of them, and then Henderson couldn't keep it in for Preston. Aquino battling with Harrington. Henderson getting across to support as well and flicking it up into Aquino's breadbasket, from which it bounces off and goes out for a goal kick. And again, Checker presenting the short option for Rahorison, for eventually taking it instead of just laying it off. Bit of trickery, training ground move perhaps. Nice turn from Fonsong Cam. Wanted to knock the ball into space for Lamont. Was picked out. Ball will bounce through to Aquino. Nice turn to beat one. Couldn't beat the seconds. Talevsky coming away with it. Now Nishimura. Works away past one. Can't get past Honduras. Preston coming up with a loose ball. Whipped in, but no figure in red and black. Advancing into the penalty area means that it's a collection for Saketa. Spent the first part of the season, as mentioned, with Calder United, did Saketa, after joining them from Geelong Galaxy. And she gets another touch as Nishimura's ball just snakes through. Not taking any chances, the youngster, getting no gloves on it. Andulis coming under a bit of pressure. And then in her attempts to play the ball back is going to concede a corner. So Preston's endeavour in the defensive front third pays off with a set-piece opportunity. You can see the bodies getting forward now. Talevski making her way into the box. Emma Checker after a bit of a conference with Georgia Henderson. Getting in there as well. Eva Harrington, the furthest player back for Preston. Josefsky, the most advanced for Boroondara. As Nishimura prepares to deliver this one. Collection of bodies in the 6-yard box as it's sent towards the near post. Can't beat the first defender. Okino bustling through. Combination play with Josefsky, who's got a bit of pace on her. As she tries to get clear of Emma Checker. Would have been an interesting battle had it not been for Eva Harrington getting in the way. Good defending from Harrington. Josefsky hasn't given up on the play. Albeit it's a forlorn attempt as Henderson came up with it. Couldn't be clean with it though. With the Preston number 50. Now though, a bit of time and space for Talevski. Carmen sending it back to Sakessa. Andulis. Carmen. Closed down by Fonsong Cam. Just able to keep it in. Keno got there before Checker. Who marshals her. She's gone with her as Emma Checker. But Keno able to thread the eye of the needle with a crossfield ball. Josefsky wants Patrikas on the overlap, but the radar just a bit off. And it will result in a turnover. Talevski now. For Fonsongkan, there's acres of space on the right. Instead she turns centrally, did Fonsongkan. Nishimura now. Past Josefsky. Who rallied to get goal side once again. Nishimura now central. Fonsongkan winding up. Shot was charged down. Tanaka now. Top of the box. Left-footed effort across the face of goal. Just. But a good phase of play there for Preston as they go in search of a second goal. 20 minutes gone here in Melbourne's north. Lamont's early strike the difference between these two sides as Preston, the hosts, lead 1-0. Ignite for Preston, their men's side also in action this evening, away to Northcote. One's game in the men's top flight taking place this evening as well. South Melbourne in action in that one, the league leaders against Manningham United. Currently leading 1-0 in the second stanza. The announcement that their coach Esteban Quintas would be on Optus Sports Euros coverage this season. The Copa Americas. That's Preston getting set up again. Back five across the halfway line. Leokopoulos tries to send the diag onwards, but it's picked out. Zalewski just able to keep play moving to Lily Johnson. Now maybe a bit of space out in the right for Tanaka. Goes down by Lim. Puts the ball into touch. Leokopoulos able to clear the ball away. Now Aquino. Correa Aquino bursting forward with intent. She's got support on her left as well in the form of Holler. That's where it goes. Gabby Holler back to Aquino. Correa Aquino. 2 in 2 weeks. The goal scoring machine for Boroondara strikes at Guinness Steel Stadium, restoring parity. She burst forward. Malice for the Preston goal in her heart. And after combining with Gabby Holler, she finds the back of the net. Her 33rd goal in the Victorian women's top flight since arriving for the 2023 campaign. And on this evening, it has brought this game back to equilibrium. It's her 4th NPLW goal against Preston, as it turns out. She does love a goal against these Lionesses. She scored Boroondara's only goal from the penalty spot in their 4-1 defeat in round 5 of last season, and then she got a brace in a 5-2 win here at BT Connor Reserve. There's a lot of goals scored between Preston and Boroondara in their rivalry last season, 12 in total. Funnily enough, Miri Nishimura and Correa Aquino, the only 2 players who scored in those games, on the park tonight. That aforementioned 3-2 win for Preston earlier this season. It was Amy Adcock, Lamont and Johnson on the score sheet for the Lionesses. Josefsky and Holler on the score sheet for Boroondara. The aforementioned Holler now trying to chase this one down. The American unable to keep it in before it rolls out for a goal kick. Ball bounces over the head of Leokopoulos. Boroondara react quickly though, get the ball out to Rosie Curtis. Sees off one challenge before sending it out to Patrikas on the right. Tempted little give and go to Spring Josefsky, doesn't come off. Johnson sends it central to Nishimura in some space. Von Songkham had to time the run and just cleared away by Anna Leokopoulos. Who has perhaps come a cropper in doing so. It was a fine bit of defending. Because a player like Von Songkham, if she threw one-on-one with any keeper there, let alone a youngster playing her first game as an emergency signing, you'd be backing her. Anna Leokopoulos up to the challenge. Leokopoulos, one of the few players out there that has spent time in Melbourne Victory's Elite Girls program, as well as the Victorian NTC program, FV Emerging. That's where she arrived from for this season. Previously at South Melbourne Junior. There she is, standing up Lamont. and enabling Patricus to clear the ball away. Ball in the hands of Molly May Ramsey. Right for the ball to the top of the box. Von Songkamp brings it down. That's Nishimura. She can hit them, Miri Nishimura. Instead attempts to play a ball, which was deflected away by Boroondara. And we've seen what they can do out in transition once already. On that occasion, ball movement maybe not as quick as they would have liked, and Preston seize the initiative once more. And our coach John Kyrgios trying to get things into gear as his defence look to get set up, and they're just able to clear the ball away before it can get to Johnson. Preston looking to reload. Emma Checker. Speculative ball towards the penalty spot.
Emma, go throw it! Emma, go throw it! Get in the box!
Georgia Henderson was the closest player for Preston. There's 1 goal to her name thus far this season, Henderson. That one a tough ask for her. Checker now coming forward, drying off the hands. Preparing the long throw in. Boroondara, well, perhaps clear is too strong a word, but they see off the danger, and Preston can effectively have a throw in from almost the exact same position as the one they had a few moments ago. Again, Checker loops it in. This attempted flick on. Will just ricochet off the head of Johnson and out for a goal kick. So the game finding its rhythm at this point. Preston seeing more of the ball, but any time Boroondara can spring forth in transition, particularly when Gabby Holler and Korea Aquino are combining. There is danger. Leokopoulos, well, she took too long on it. Johnson got across and stole it away. Another last moment deflection for Boroondara. Sees them survive, and now potential foot race. Tanaka sends it all the way back to Harrison. Harrington. She goes back to her keeper. Aquino was looking. Patricus now for Boroondara. Leokopoulos. Spared blushes moments ago by her side's scrambling defence after she turned the ball over. Curtis. It's going to slice straight off the boot of Patricus. Preston throw in inside the Boroondara half of the pitch. Henderson turns it around the corner for Lamont, who goes back to Nishimura. Tulevsky made the run. Instead, Nishimura turns and advances. Tempted to slice something in behind. Didn't come off. Lamont's header to the top of the box. Ondoulis was there for Boroondara. Fall to Josefsky, except her pass finds nobody but Emma Checker in the end. Emma Checker lofting something in the Henderson direction on the right flank, and she's battled to win the ball and win a free kick. And now set piece in a intriguing position on the park for the Lionesses. Von Songkham getting across to take this one. And the right footer would seemingly indicate that she's going to look to pick out a teammate. Would be a very difficult task for any right footer to find the net from there. Ball is whipped in, nodded on by Henderson at the near post. And Saketa getting down low. Puts the ball out for a corner. So the youngster ensuring that this game will remain locked at 1 goal apiece in the 34th minute. Just over 10 minutes of regulation remaining here at Guinness Steel Stadium at BT Connell Reserve. Ishimura with the delivery. Talevski was lurking, couldn't make proper contact. Tanaka keeps the play moving. When Songkham closed down quickly. Paraskevas then puts the ball out. Henderson trying to open up an angle, but she had support. Now the ball in. Saketa getting in the road before it could sneak through. You had Johnson arriving at the far post. You have seen now on a multitude of occasions Preston looking to attack the byline on that right flank and whip balls in. Got to think about defending though now as Aquino has taken away the ball. Her pass intended for Gabby Holler, however, is wayward. As mentioned, Holler with 11 goals on the campaign already, going at a rate of 1 goal a game thus far. Potentially a bit of a challenge for Coach John Kyrgios to fit these two goal scorers, Holler and Aquino, into his side and figure out the dynamics of that. Aquino only able to sign mid-season after being with Melbourne Victory, as mentioned. That ball intended for her, couldn't get there. Johnson headed it on. And as far as Josefsky, he comes under pressure from Henderson. She's been involved in certainly everything as of late, Georgia Henderson. Henderson signing with Preston back in 2023 from NPL South Australia, Modbury Vista. Has become a key part of the Lionesses' efforts ever since. Another attack potentially developing for Preston. It's a long-range effort from Tanaka. Well, it potentially took a touch off the boot, didn't in the end, or if it did, it was a Preston with the last touch nonetheless, as it's a goal kick. Sent out in the Patrikas direction. She's immediately closed down by Johnson. She's going to come up with a ball. Hayley Johnson, the American attacker, working it to the byline and cutting it back for Lamont. She has won already tonight, but won't be adding to her tally with efforts like that. Unable to bend it back and get the ball on target, and it will be a goal kick. Again, though, we see now on the left flank, Preston attacking that byline. Carmen wanted Paraskevas on the left, but Boroondara making their lives a bit more difficult than it needs to be in these last few exchanges, struggling to get the ball out of their own territory. Well, very much in dispute, but Rosie Curtis came up with it without the whistle going and then promptly turns it over. Preston can spring forward once more. They're up for the challenge. Curtis. Correa Aquino. Does well, Correa Aquino. Sending it to Josefsky on the right. And Molly May Ramsey doing equally as well to snuff out the danger. Tanaka. See this back five of Preston. Always ensuring that they have an option in the back line. And well, we've had a slip and a potential injury as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Eltalevsky's down and holding. She's not in a good way. She's hobbling around. Talevsky still able to get on the ball. We'll see whether she can jog that off. Looking very gamely. Meanwhile, Preston in the end will just put the ball out, and Eltalevsky can receive some attention from her teammates. Looking down at the Preston dugout, waiting to see if the trainer is summoned. Up and ready to be called on if signalled for. Trainer remains on the sideline, meaning that Eltalevsky can remain on the pitch. As Boroondara do the sporting thing and return possession to Preston. Molly May Ramsey. Left flank, Josefsky. Josefsky, has she ripped her undershirt? She's doing running repairs. She's almost got herself a scarf. There is eventually able to get rid of it. Meanwhile, Emma Checker on the ball. Tanaka was the intended recipient of that pass. Carmen got in the road, as they have done so often throughout this opening stanza. Preston immediately winning play back in the Boroondara half of the pitch. But that is a poor ball. And Aquino now bursting forward. Checker trying to just jockey her and hold her up. Forces the long range effort, which sails wide. Good defending from Emma Checker. That matchup, Aquino and Checker, undoubtedly something that the two became very familiar with at Melbourne Victory training during the past A-League Women campaign. You always wonder who gleans more benefit from that sort of familiarity. Is it the defender who knows what the attacker wants to do, or is it the attacker who potentially knows just where the defender doesn't want them to go? Lamont Johnson. Johnson trying to whip the ball in behind to Von Songkham. Couldn't get the radar tunes there as it sailed away from her and through to Saketa. The Boroondara goals. Nishimura got a boot on it, knocking it down to Von Songkham. To Talevsky. Aquino was lurking as her teammates, several of them, were quick to tell her. Paraskevis with the stand-up challenge. It's a Preston ball. I think both sides thought it was the opposite. .43rd minute here on the scoreboard at Genesteel Stadium at BT Corner Reserve. Score remains locked at 1-1. Lamont opening the scoring for Preston before Aquino, bringing the game back to parity. Hola, able to face the right way. Carrying it forward. She swarmed. She needs an option. She's done remarkably well, and then she's going to wind up. What a goal! Gabby Ola, you absolute star! She couldn't find a teammate, so she just did it herself. Avoiding challenges, winding up, and beating Crahorison from well out, and just before the halftime break, Boroondara have roared back from a goal down to lead 2-1. Now, we were talking about the strike combination that Boroondara possess earlier in this half, Aquino and Holla. Well, they're both on the score sheet in this opening 45 minutes. Boroondara, if you were judging this based on points like a prize fight, you would have had them trailing in this one. Preston, more of the ball, more territory, but this is football. And when you've got two players that can create things like Holla and Aquino, you might find yourselves liable to lead 2-1 heading into the halftime break here at Genesteel Stadium at BT Corner Reserve. As the fourth official indicates that there will be 2 additional minutes at the end of this opening stanza. Seketa coming out to claim that bouncing ball. 2, some acclaim from the Boroondara dugout. They've been quick to raise their voices and get around the young keeper whenever she's produced a save or collected the ball across this opening 45. High ball. Honduras and Lamont are there. The latter will get there first. It's going to bounce through for Johnson, who will tie things up. Boroondara, they didn't lead for long. And Boroondara's leading scorer scores up when and Preston's leading scorer answers right back. Hayley Johnson into double digits now in 2024. The Americans got 10. And in added time here at the first half, it's been barnstorming ends to the opening stanza. Johnson restoring parity in the first minute of added time. Preston 2, Boroondara 2. And you'd think with the scoreboard reading 46 minutes and 45 seconds here at Genesteel Stadium that we probably wouldn't have time for anything more, but I said that once already, and Preston went and equalised, so you never know. As Aquino bursting forward, trying to slide through Josefsky. And that will be it for an entertaining opening 45 minutes here in Melbourne's North. Preston taking the lead, Boroondara coming back to claim it for themselves, only for the Lionesses to strike very late through Hayley Johnson and make it 2-2 heading into the sheds after 45 minutes here at Genesteel Stadium at BT Corner Reserve. Ellie Lamont, the other goal scorer for Preston, Korea Aquino. And Gabby Holler on the score sheet for Boroondara. Both sides with positives to take from the opening half, as well as some areas, no doubt, for improvement that Coach Dan Foden and John Kyrgios will have noted and will now be seeking to communicate to their two sides. We'll be back for the second stanza in around 15 minutes or so. You'll have the countdown clock for company as we await the recommencement of hostilities. Be sure to join us on the other side. Welcome back, one and all, to Melbourne's North Guinness Steel Stadium here at BT Conner Reserve for the second half of this NPL Women's Victoria Round 12 contest. A clash that sees the Preston Lions hosting the Boroondara Eagles in what is the first game of the second half of the women's top flight season. Rounds 12, every side has played each other once to this point. And these two sides trying to commence, well, the beginning of the ends, perhaps you could call it, with a win. It was a back and forth opening stanza. Preston with more of the ball, more of the territory. And they did take the lead through Ellie Lamont, but the lethal presence of Korea Aquino and Gabby Holler up front for Boroondara, paying dividends as they came back to take a 2-1 lead, only for Preston's talisman, Hayley Johnson, to answer back in added time at the end of the opening stanza, 46.5 minutes in, restoring parity heading into the half-time break. So all to play for here in Reservoir as we get proceedings going once more. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us once again here on the NPL Victoria YouTube page, live and free, no matter where you happen to be, Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, or indeed anywhere around the world. As Preston coming forward through Hayley Johnson. Speaking of anywhere around the world, the American turning and trying to cut the ball back. Von Songkham, perhaps the intended recipient in the middle of the penalty area, at the top of the box. No doing, however, as it's scrambled clear by Boroondara. One wonders perhaps if Johnson's family watching along from the United States, from Wisconsin. Scored 27 goals and 20 assists for the University of Wisconsin at Milwaukee. Starting 78 out of 83 games. So everywhere she's gone, collegiate or professional, she has been a regular figure. As now Preston coming forward once more. Lamont, ball across the face. Tanaka! Looked up, snuck it inside that far post, and early on in the second stanza, Preston strike, claim the lead. And Tanaka fires true to make it Preston 3, Boroondara 2. It's her second in as many weeks. The Japanese import. Third on the season, goal on debut against South Melbourne, goal last week against Heidelberg United, and now a goal against Boroondara. I think a bit of a habit of scoring against Preston's rivals, perhaps. Of course, those famous derby meetings between South Melbourne and Heidelberg and Preston, and now delivering a blow against a promotion rival from the VPL women days of these two sides. Tanaka, having scored the ball, getting a touch now on the right. Johnson laying it off. Harrington trying to lay it through for Tanaka's run, didn't come off. All up high, Henderson nods it on. Preston looking to use this early momentum, carry the ball forward. They won't on that occasion. Cassie Carmen with Von Songkham for company. She turns and plays it back to Honduras. Curtis. Touch took it away from Nishimura before she sent it out to Paraskevis on the left. Holler chested it down, but it took her away from goal, but she's turned well. Aquino. Harrington keeping her company. Aquino trying to turn inside. Harrington said none of that and sends it out instead for a corner. And now Tanaka just getting a bit of a check-up from referee Angelique Katsalis. She did lose her footing right near the Boroondara dugout after she got that touch just after her goal. There is that artificial surface on the dugouts here at BT Connor Reserve. Maybe she just lost track of her positioning. She gets back now to defend as the ball is delivered in. Punched down by Horrison. Had to get there because Paraskevas was lurking. Dulles lost it to the top of the box, headed clear. And now Ellie Lamont for Preston. She scored their opener. Sliding through Johnson. Hayley Johnson, she's forced wide. Madison Van Doren, who came on at half-time, doing the defending. Tanaka knocking it down. Dulles knocking it forward. And Doran, as mentioned, looks to have come on to the park for Maria Patrikas. They're at right back. Nishimura carrying the ball into the box, only for Van Doren to recover and claim the ball for Boroondara. Molly May Ramsey just getting her body on Josefsky and doing so in a manner that ensures her side will have the throw in. Throw in for Johnson. Knocked back for Molly May Ramsey this time, though. Boroondara throw it, much to her disgust. Keno knocks it down, but Johnson there to claim it for Preston. Dulles knocking it clear. Ball up for grabs in the middle of the park. Levski. Henderson's attempted ball, blocked away and then taken off her by Holler, who's taken the armband after the exit of Patrikas from the game. Checker surveys the scene, knocks it forward. Lamont came through with a head of steam, but Carmen claims the ball for Boroondara. Leokopoulos. Speculative ball in the Josefsky direction on the right. Preston got a boot in. Saketa wants Cassie Carmen, was caught on her heels and then enabled Henderson the time to slide in, albeit only centred as far as Paraskevas. Honduras had to react as Lamont closed in. Preston's pressure, just forcing a few nervy moments for Boroondara, but looks like they've ridden the wave. Ball knocks central. Keno is there. Harrington again at her back. And Aquino will be adjudged to have committed an infringement and will receive a yellow card. Boroondara players asking what the yellow card was for as coach John Kyrgios Well, I won't transcribe it exactly, but none too happy with the decision. Of course, referee Angelique Gatsalis had a better angle than pretty much all of us. The game's first booking. Mondulis sending it out to Lim, who had to be clean with Henderson at her back. And, well, she did shake off the attendance of the Preston player. Boroondara throw on the left. Maybe the tension beginning to ratchet up a little here at Genesteel Stadium. Bit more feeling begin to seep into this one. From Songkam. Clean in possession as she lays it off at Talevski. Lofts it forward. Johnson will be able to turn. Just dink it forward for Lamont. Boroondara scrambling it away. Only as far as Von Songkam. Nice little touch. Back to Tanaka, the scorer of Preston's third. The strike that restored their lead. Nishimura. Nice ball through for Molly May Ramsey. The cutback across the face of goal. Lamont lurking, but Sakasa falls upon it. And Preston, that pattern of play that we saw so frequently in the opening stanza, getting to the byline and whipping balls across the goal line, denied again by Boroondara. There's Checker now. We'll let it run as she allows her teammates to get set up in their shape before laying it off for her Horrison. Harrington now. Talevski's ball picked out by Lim. Only as far as Henderson. Nishimura. Checker has space to advance into, and it's going to keep opening up in front of her. Eventually looking to play through Molly May Ramsey again, and her ball, well, she had options in the middle. Nishimura was there. This was Ellie Lamont, but got away from her. And Malie Saketa comes up with it before booting it clear in the direction of Holler, who can't claim. So Preston launch themselves forward once more. Tanaka's ball. It's going to scoot all the way through. Well, it wasn't the cleanest of shots by Lamont. Johnson lurking, but the flag immediately going up when it became clear that she was in the vicinity. So Boroondara surviving. But the respite that they will claim lasts all of a few seconds before it's put into touch by Cassie Carman, and Preston will have a throw in just inside their own side of the pitch. Carman wanted a free kick against Von Songkamp for holding. None coming as she boots the ball away. Cassie Carman playing the role of ball kid as Boroondara want this game restarted quickly. Over the head of Carman. Only for Honduras to put the ball out. But a decent chunk of territory gained for Preston between throw-ins. As, well, we're looking for a ball. It's eventually fetched. And Harrington could have a throw. And again, Preston moving forward in little spurts between throw-ins, now deep in the Boroondara half. Tanaka. Ball in dispute. Corner kick now for Preston. So, well, the set piece routine will continue. Throw in, throw in, throw in. Now a corner. Nishimura to take. She's got Fon Songcam for company which she doesn't use. Ball takes a touch, top of the box. Boroondara desperately scramble it away. But Preston coming up with it, keeping it locked in their attacking half of the pitch. And that's a very dangerous looking ball. Molly May Ramsey just unable to collect it, had to go and fetch it. She's then closed down by Van Doren. Checker. Nishimura. Tanaka. Keeping the ball in. Wanted Lamont. Not clear of her. Tanaka. Picks up the spillage. Fon Songcam. Preston knocking the ball around. Retaining possession. Emma Checker looking up. Ball to the top of the box. Boroondara unable to be decisive with their clearances. Miri Nishimura thought about a shot, kept it. Tanaka, clever pass back to Checker, who'll look up. Ball in towards the back post. Off the post, back into play. Boroondara surviving by a coat of paint. And now the visitors will at least clear their lines, get the ball into Preston's side of the field. And, well, Jaszewski coming forward with a bit of pace and being rewarded with a throw-in for her side. Jaszewski with the effort. Prohorison getting down low to keep it out. And for all their repeated attacks, Preston, it's still only a 1-goal advantage that they hold. And not to belabor a point, but the likes of Keno and Holler and even Jaszewski, Boroondara only need one chance. Carmen gets there before Tanaka, puts the ball out into touch. Abe Tanaka gets us going once more. Susan von Songcam was being closed down by Lim. Oh, she's just a bit of a braid fade there from the former young Matilda. Keno flicks it around the corner in the Paraskevis direction. Preston denied that. Now it's in dispute here in the midfield. Nishimura coming away with it. Tried the early ball in behind for Johnson. Leokopoulos claiming it for her side. Josefsky, bit of space here if she can get around Molly May Ramsey. Carrying it central with a lot of speed, Josefsky. Ball through for Aquino. She's gone very wide, Aquino. Too wide in the end for her effort to get beyond Charlotte Prahorison. But the speed of Josefsky there, opening things up. Undoubtedly a sight that John Kyrgios in the Boroondara dugout will want to see more of as this game goes on. Getting his lightning quick winger out in space, running at players. Johnson now, ball in behind for Lamont. Offside. She didn't think so, but the flag raised as soon as it became apparent that she was going to get onto the end of that one. As we also see another couple of changes coming for Boroondara. Ocean Murphy entering the fray. From Sogcam. 14 has also come onto the park for Boroondara. Unfortunately, there's no 14 on their team sheet, so we'll just chase down confirmation of that change. Tanaka for Preston. Now Aquino lurking, but Prahorison claims. Confirmation that the other change was Sophia Gillespie coming on for Boroondara. As that's going to be coming back. Lamont retreating from an offside position. Gillespie doing battle with Nishimura. Fonsong came there as well. Tanaka, in her attempts to deflect it away, inadvertently handles it. Free kick for Boroondara. Chance for the visitors to get forward in some rare numbers. Cassie Carmen standing over it. She's joined now by Leokopoulos, who will take this one in the end. Got a lot on it. Too much in the end for Gorea Aquino to chase down. battle there between Carmen and von Songkham. One that's ongoing. Tanaka involved as well. Henderson to Johnson. Brought down by Gillespie, and that's going to be a free kick. Well, that's going to snake through. Lamont cleared up fairly. 50-50 ball between her and Sakessa. And Ellie Lamont has gone down and stayed down. The West Australian was brave. She would have seen Sakessa coming, and knowing that she was probably in a position where either she was scoring or winning a penalty if she got there first. The young keeper equally as brave, coming out to clear it away. And as I mentioned, it's first game for Boroondara, the teenager, after crossing over from Calder midweek with a bit of an injury crisis in the keeping stakes for the visitors. Sakessa back up to her feet. Good to see. Lamont as well. Ishimura. von Songkham. Curtis takes it away from Boroondara, gets it forward. Holler. Van Doren for Josefsky. It's a big pitch here at Guinness-Steel Stadium. She's got a bit of space to work against Molly May Ramsey. Back to Van Doren. Attempted first-time ball. Didn't make the contact she would have liked. Johnson keeping it in. Well, for all of about a metre. Van Doren can have a throw for Boroondara on that far side. Sends central to Curtis. Nishimura for company. Goes back to Van Doren. Last touch took it around the corner, but that's where the move forward will end for Boroondara. Lamont now. Preston. Dinking the ball out to Tanaka on the right. Had to let it come to her. Von Songkham. Boroondara were expecting a flag. It didn't come, and Lamont instead is denied by a fantastic save from Sakessa. The play almost developing in slow motion there as heads turned, looking to the assistant as Lamont teed up an effort. And unfortunately for Boroondara, Sakessa only had eyes for the ball, deflecting it out for a corner. And the scoreline remains Preston 3, Boroondara 2. Preston took the lead. Bondura then claimed it. Preston taking it back. 3 lead changes. Will we see any more? It's Molly May Ramsey couldn't make proper contact with that one. Aquino now. Now Josefsky has space. Now that's going to be coming back. That will be a booking. If Aquino had been able to look up, she had Josefsky with space to run into, and she was in her own half. Wouldn't have had to worry about offside. So, clear professional foul there. Yellow card. As Boroondara making another change. Emily Rutkowski coming on to make her debut for Boroondara. Spent time in the Melbourne Victory developmental program at Rutkowski earlier this season. She was filling in and helping make up the numbers in State League 2 with the Afghan women's national team side that Melbourne Victory supports. Now taking the field for Boroondara. Battle there as Roshan Murphy goes down under the attention from Emma Checker. Roshan Murphy, well, she did get on the score sheet in the win over Brunswick Juventus. Her first senior goal for Boroondara, that one. Has struck 4 times for the under-20s this season. Wonder how it feels for players like Murphy when they're going out there and they find Emma Checker, multiple A-League women titles, multiple Matildas caps. Been around the A-League women for years and years when these players would have grown up watching it, now marking them. Johnson now for Preston. Has it poked away from her. Abby Holler with the turn before sending it back to Cassie Carmen. Sakata had to get rid of it in a hurry. That meant it only went so far as Johnson, and her ball forward for Lamont. Well, the pratfalls of coming up to press the goalkeeper. If you do force a turnover, you're invariably in an offside position. And Preston now preparing a change. Nani Gadais entering the fray. Placing Eva Harrington. Jade Feeks coming on as well. Replacing El Talevsky. So, with the lead, Coach Dan Foden just reinforcing his back line. Tanaka pokes it forward. Carmen's header. Got rid of it for Boroondara, and now they'll try to build something down this right flank. Nothing doing there, so Curtis shifts the play from right to left. And Carmen. Mihola couldn't get the play central. Galetti, though, kept it alive for Boroondara. Rutkowski has it taken away from her. Josefsky. Ball whipped into the top of the box. Aquino flicks it on. Rutkowski is there, and she's cleaned up by incredibly brave goalkeeping from Horison. And now Charlotte Horison down and requiring a bit of treatment. We've seen both goalkeepers in this second stanza coming out knowing that they're going to cop a knock, but doing so anyway. Now, former FV emerging custodian has spent some time on the books of Melbourne City without debuting. He's also captained Victorian sides at underage levels for Horison. She will be fit to continue. Sasha Liparides is the backup goalkeeper for Preston. Feels for a handball, heated. Josefsky in her haste to try to control the ball. Inadvertently doing so with her arm. 79th minute here on the scoreboard at Gunnerstill Stadium at BT Connor Reserve. Tanaka's early strike in this second stanza, the difference between the two sides. Although we did see a few goals scored late in the opening half One wonders if we will see a repeat for a barnstorm finish. Holler turn the ball around the corner in the Josefsky direction. Couldn't find number 7, however, so Preston throw it on the left. Molly May Ramsey gets us going once more. Lamont chests it down. Rosie Curtis. Clever touch. Now Josefsky unable to track that one down before it rolls out. But it did last take a touch off a Preston player. So Boroondara getting some numbers forward. We've got Aquino lurking at the top of the box. Paraskevis is there as well. If the visitors can find a way to get the ball in there. Anderson Van Doren. Another throw. And then Rutkowski just wanted to lay it back off to the right back. And a touch let her down, and Preston now. Ball in their hands. Holla setting it through for Aquino. Bursting into the area, but Emma Checker. Last line of defence, Emma Checker, and well, she's insistent that the ball came off Korea Aquino. Never falling on deaf ears as Angelique Katsalis points to the corner and then moves to take up her position to observe. Again, mass of bodies inside the 6-yard box. Leakopoulos, the lone Boroondara player in the penalty area, not in there. And in the end, it'll all come to naught as the corner sails long and into the side netting. There's Preston making another change. Susan Fonsoca making way, replaced by Dakota Thyssen. Albernian, another one of these players that spent time in the US collegiate system. Who's out there on the park. Santa Barbara City College and Southern New Hampshire University. Fantastically named penmen. Tanaka, high ball forward. Just bounces off the top of Henderson's head. And we'll go all the way through to Sakessa. A lot of space for Boroondara there, as it's lofted forward over the head of Aquino. Hollow is it there, as was Roshan Murphy. Cassie Carman claims and carries the ball forward. Not the best ball to Murphy. Checker puts her boot through it. Going to find a way through to Lamont, who's almost spear tackled there by Leakopoulos, and that's going to earn her a place in the book. Shoulders almost into kidneys there. I think maybe lost her footing at the vital moment, Leakopoulos. Been in the wars in these past few exchanges, has Lamont. That big collision with Sakessa earlier as she tried to chase down a loose ball in the Boroondara area, and now taken out by Leakopoulos. And we're seeing now a bit of a conference between referee Angelique Katsalis and fourth official Matthew Amadio. Actually, Katsalis signals for play to continue. Henderson, ball to the top of the box. Cleared away only as far as the newly introduced Thyssen. Appeals for a free kick from Boroondara. They thought that Henderson had fouled Murphy. Judged not to of. Maybe a few exaggerated diving motions between Henderson and Johnson there as they await the delivery of this corner. Ishimura's delivery. What an absolute pearl of a finish. That will seal this game for Preston Lions. An absolutely fantastic reaction. Turning the ball around the corner. And that should seal this game for the Preston Lions. Well, Hayley Johnson, I believe, who got the decisive touch. Her second of the evening as Preston making two final changes, one would imagine. Lee Flaming coming onto the park. Rachel Gillies as well. Leah Lamont makes way, as does Georgia Henderson. And now Preston taking a potentially definitive two-goal lead. They've had multiple lead changes, but no side has had more than a two-goal lead. But Holler, because she has a straight back. She can, remarkable. Just as you're beginning to write the obituary of Boroondara's performance tonight, Gabby Holler comes up with her second goal of the game. And, well, Preston's lead, two-goal buffer, I should say, it lasted, well, less than a minute. Talk about twists and turns. 7 goals scored tonight. Well, at this point, if you're betting against an 8th, all right, maybe it's odds on, but I feel like you'd be a silly one to do it. Can Boroondara find another? Carmen's pass behind Murphy. Tanaka's throw-in down the flank, sent back. Now bouncing ball for Van Doren, sending it in the Aquino direction. Little glancing header forward for Holler. She will let it run. Corner kick. Just about to tick over to 88 minutes played. Boroondara getting numbers into the box. Every player back defending inside their penalty area for Preston. Toing and froing there in the 6-yard box. Referee Angelique Katsalis just laying down the law. Horrison has almost disappeared in the massive bodies. High ball in. Headed clear at the back post by Preston. Only as far as Josefsky. Back out to Rosie Curtis. Another high delivery. Again, Preston head clear. This time Nishimura's there. She knocks it forward. Again, Josefsky though, for Murphy. Preston had the numbers. And that ball will last come off Preston in the end. They thought it had bounced off the shins of Murphy. Our referees disagree. Booted away. But Leakopoulos has lots of time to figure out what she wants to do, which is send it out to the right. High ball to the top of the box, over the head of Aquino. The arriving Holler couldn't reach it in time. Goal kick, Preston. 89 minutes and 35 seconds have elapsed on the scoreboard here at Guinness Steel Stadium. Preston with 2 goals in the second stanza to take a 4-2 lead, one which was reduced to 4-3 within seconds by Boroondara's Gabby Holler, her second of the game. 3 minutes of added time will be played here at BT Connor Reserve. Murphy. Nothing in front of her as the pass is picked out by Preston. They're at this point just looking to clear their lines. Saketa sends it across to Van Doren. Leakopoulos. Van Doren maybe just trying to drag Preston out of shape. Curtis couldn't collect it, bundled over. Now ball is played forward, foot race is on. Gabby Holder's giving chase. Tanaka gets there first for Preston. Vital intervention from the Japanese wing-back. But Boroondara will take advantage and get some numbers forward. Loose ball. Curtis claims. Murphy trying to beat Tanaka. Tanaka read her intentions well. Got in front of her and won the free kick. Tanaka has remained down. So precious seconds ticking away, albeit they are seconds supposed to be added back on by Angelique Katsalis. That is the theory. Checker puts her boot through it. Holler wants it back forward, but only as far as Nishimura. Carmen. Big coming together. Johnson kept her feet, but the ball will bounce off her and out for a throw-in before she knocks it upfield. The desperation is evident from both sides. Preston holding on to a 4-3 lead, looking to get back into the winner's circle after 3 straight defeats. Stay in touch with FC Bulleen Lions atop the NPL Women's Victoria table. Boroondara, long ball forward. Players giving chase. Emma Checker gets there first. Conference between referee Katsalis and her assistant on that far side. It's going to be a yellow card for Emma Checker. I'm going to assume it is for dissent. Given that Preston have retained possession, has to have been for dissent. Boroondara taking it back, must score in these next few exchanges. Time ticking away. Really, any attack could be their last. Preston take the ball back again and keep it in. Only for Boroondara to claim it. Tanaka taking it back for Preston, and that will be the definitive turnover. The Lionesses, winners once more. The 3-game losing run consigned to history as they hold on for a 4-3 win against Boroondara, a barnstorming encounter. They were down 2-1. Preston, after taking a lead, restored parity just before the halftime, took a lead, doubled it, only for Boroondara to answer back. Twists and turns to this one, but in the end, Preston Lions taking out a 4-3 win over a game Boroondara Eagles. My name has been Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for keeping me company throughout this entertaining contest on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. A reminder that you can catch every game of the NPL Women's Victoria season, as well as the NPL Men's Victoria season, and select games from the VPL 1 and the VPL Women's Competitions, Australian Cup, Nike FC Cup. It's all there in Victorian football on that YouTube page. Subscribe and then be a friend, tell a friend, get them subscribed as well. All live and free. But tonight, one last time, it is Preston Lions taking out the win, 4-3 over the Boroondara Eagles. We'll leave you here with the scenes at Guinness Steel Stadium at BT Connor Reserve. Once again, my name has been Joey Lynch. Thanks and success.